What's up, y'all? This is Black Star from GamingArcadia.com. Check out my YouTube, which is youtube.com/the Black Star Movement. Also, check out the Gaming Arcadia YouTube, which is youtube.com/GamingArcadia HD, ran by Small Soldier. Okay, I'm back again, trying this shit again for part 5 of the Sarah Movelist breakdown, which is K plus G attacks. So pretty much the heavy kick attacks. I guess I'll go straight into it. So, this first attack is K plus G, which is, what's it called? Get back on my notes. I think it's called back spin kick. Yep, back spin kick. K plus G. So this is pretty much your standard full circular kick. It's great because I guess you could say it's your standard move to beat evaders. So, you know, if your opponent tries to evade at all and you know it's coming and they're not high level, one thing you could do is K plus G. No matter which way they try to evade, toward the screen or away from the screen, it'll catch them, as long as they don't cancel into something else. And of course, if you catch them on evade, it's automatic counter hit. On counter hit, this has really great frames. It's +9, and not only is it +9, it's +9 on side turn. Even on normal hit, it's pretty good. So on normal hit and on counter hit, it side turns automatically. So, you know, of course, being put in a side turn situation is really bad because not only are just for the quick rundown for people who don't know, you know, you get added frames on block hit or counter hit if your opponent is side turned. Not to mention it also takes them longer for them to sidestep as well, among other things. So side turn situation is pretty much heavily in your favor. It's like it's something you'd really like to have. You know, for example, like high punch on normal hit is +5 on when they're side turns. On normal hit is +7. So all like weak attacks like punch or elbow or 2P get +2 bonus from side turn, and you know, heavy attacks like, you know, mid kick or something like that, or a launcher, you know, on block hit or counter hit gets added 3 frames of frame advantage. So it's great for that, and not to mention, if you have them side turn at like +9, you can throw a knee tackle immediately. So, you know, force them to either guard the throw or guard the mid kick. Whoops. Alright, but you get the idea. This is somewhat a better combo, but you get the idea. You have them on side turn, it's pretty bad for them, and it's good for you. So that's the great thing about this move. Like on normal hit or counter hit, they're automatically side turn. It's also full circular, and it's a full circular high. The thing about it being full circular is if somebody tries to use a counter move, like a move that actually counters something, or like a Sabaki or something like that, or an Inashi, everybody's counter except Aoi's. And this is specifically her counter, not her yin yang PKG or something like that. Like, it'll beat all counters that I know of. It beats Go Sabaki, it beats, of course, Sarah Sabaki, if you even count that. It beats Akira's counter, it beats Pai's counter, it beats, yeah, it pretty much beats every counter except for Aoi's 1P plus K. So there might be another one, but I really doubt it because I can't think of it right now. So this move is the anti-counter move. I mean, it's pretty hard to read, and it rarely, if ever, comes up because there's plenty of other options that can happen. But you know, if somebody you know is going to try and counter you or something like that, especially, you know, against like always yin yang, you'll see that all the time. They'll just get KG into side turn. So, you know, that's pretty much an any counter move. You know, the thing about this move is that it's a high attack. Yeah, I'm going into the cons about the move right now. I just went through over the pros. So you know the thing about being a high attack is that it can be countered by 2P if they know it's coming. It can be countered by sweep because it's huge, and that's another thing about this move. Even on evade, if your opponent evades it, but they cancel, if they fail evade it, and they're set to get hit, but they cancel into like crouch dash or forward dash, they can block it or duck it in time. So because it's so slow, in other words, you know, there's often times where this move is just plain too slow for it to hit higher level opponents. So let me show an example. All right. As you can see, I evaded, and the high circular attack is supposed to catch the evade, but because I cancel into crouch dash guard, crouch dash fuzzy guard, I was able to block in time. So I guess I can show it one more time with input display. Yeah, as you can see, watch my movement slowly. Yeah, no matter how, you know, no matter when they try it, if I am able to cancel out of my failed evade in time into like crouch dash or dash forward into guard, I can guard it in time. So it's not necessarily a guaranteed attack against evaders, which is kind of annoying, but you know, that's the breaks. You know, you just gotta deal with it. Yeah, it pretty much covers everything into this. Oh, one last thing is, and this pretty much segues into the next move. On counter hit, you can confirm into the what is it, capo GK, which is pretty much a string. Actually, I think even normal hit can confirm into it too. Well, you won't confirm it into normal hit. I won't even combo off normal hit. But on counter hit, you can confirm it to KGK, K plus GK, which is the next one I'm going to cover. K plus GK is the reverse high kick. It's the second part of the string, the only string available from K plus G. And honestly, you're not going to use this often, but you know, every now and then you might find a time where you can use it. But let me go over its uses pretty much. First of all, let me get the bad out the way. It's, as a string, it's a high, so it can be countered really easily with 2P or even sweep because this comes out so slow. So if they block KG and they know the K is coming, they know reverse high kick is coming, they can 2P you out of it. They can punish you, basically. So it's not very reliable. It's not, you know, something that can be used, and something that definitely can't be spammed, and it's something that's punishable. But if you have a hard read on your opponent, if you condition your opponent to not duck or not react against you, if you condition your opponent to basically just be a turtle, this move becomes really good because on block, on hits, or on counter hits, it's all positive frames. Where's guard? Wow. Yeah, as you can see, it's +3 on guard. On hit, it's +4, and on counter, it's +10. So, you know, the best use of this move is, you know, if you can bait your opponent to try and attack you out of a K plus G, which is, you know, can happen. It's definitely possible. You get +10, and you can pretty much do whatever you want out of Flamingo. You can do whatever mix-up that you want out of Flamingo in. So that's pretty much the only time when you use it. It comes up pretty rarely, but you know, it's a good option to have in the back of your mind to you know, mess people up. And if you condition your opponent to block and they do end up blocking it, you can go into, you know, go into automatic Flamingo mix-up, you know, depending on how you think your opponent reacts. It also cancels into step stance too. So, you know, if you just have your opponent just scared to death, they don't want to press a button at all, you know, you can basically go into step stance for free. you know, just run a mix up. Yeah, so that's an option right there, and that pretty much covers it for that move. The next move is Valkyrie Low, which is this move right here. Now, a note that this is a low attack for Sarah from normal stance, and if it's a low attack that's not in Flamingo or some other stance, it's bad for Sarah. Sarah just doesn't have good lows from normal stance. But that being said, this is the best of her lows, and it can be pretty good if you know when to use it. It's a 15 frame low, and it's a low from standing. So lows are already difficult to see in Virtua Fighter. Unless it's like huge like sweep, which is 24 frames, this is 15 frames. So it's, you know, if you try to mix up your opponent and just throw it in every now and then, like, they're not going to see it. So that basically becomes a free hit. And it's even more dangerous when it's like, it's especially dangerous at the end of a round when, you know, your opponent's low on life. Just throw that out there and, you know, this could KO him, this can like kill him or something like that. So, you know, you can throw that out there and they won't be able to react to it. That being said, on hit, on guard is -14, so it's elbow punishable. On hit is -6, so technically it's a Nitaku, but actually it's not because you're already, well, actually it is because you're standing. So you throw yourself a Nitaku, but at the same time, if your opponent doesn't, in my experience, if your opponent doesn't expect to get hit by this move, and they get hit, they're not going to realize that they're -6 and throw a Nitaku out. You know, even if they know what the move is, even if they play Sarah, you know, as long as you like use it sparingly, you know, you don't have to worry too much about that. But just don't spam it out, or else you will get blown up. On counter hit is 0, so you get no frame advantage whatsoever. It's 0, as you can see. You get no frame advantage whatsoever, but at the same time, you know, your opponent's gonna be blindsided because they got hit with a low out of nowhere. And, you know, you just run a mix up if they don't react in time. You can just straight up disrespect them and run a non-legit mix up. You know, or you can do, you know, another option, and this goes into the next move. You can go into the string, because this is actually, this can be part of a string, and there's only one string out of 1 KGK, Valkyrie Low, and that's reverse high kick. Actually it's Valkyrie Sword, my bad. Wrong name. Valkyrie Sword, 1K plus GK. As you can see, I can like delay this move forever and it still confirms. But before I get into Valkyrie Sword, let me cover one thing about Valkyrie Low. I have another video that covers this more in detail, but just as a side note, if you have your opponent close to a wall and it's at kind of an acute angle and you hit him with the low, the Valkyrie Low, you see Sarah's body completely turned around from where it was before. Let me show it again. Her back is facing toward the screen. You know, her face is facing toward me or whatever. Her left elbow is facing toward Sarah, and her position is completely turned around. While her body is turning around, like, you actually have a huge amount of frame advantage. So you basically get a launcher for free, and it's only from this position. Whoops, I don't even know if they combo, but normally, you know, if you time it right, you have it on deck and ready, it combos. Whoops, I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, as you can see, combo counter went up. That's a free, like, almost half life, you know, just from a low hit. That's normally negative on block, you know. So if their back is facing toward the screen, you get plus 18 or plus 17 or something like that. If their chest is facing toward the screen, you get plus 15. So, you know, but that's covered in detail in one of my other videos. Alright, but on to the next move, which is Valkyrie Sword, 1K plus GK. It's the second part of the 1K plus G string. 1K plus GK is not a true combo or normal hit at all, as you can see on your bottom left. The counter remains on 1. So I guess only if they're close to a wall, or if it's, more importantly, if it's on counter hit. the first hit. That's when it actually combos. So, and another thing about this move you should know is that it's a low high. So it can be countered with 2P. So, in other words, it can be blown up. Don't use this move a whole lot. Even when it hits, you can be 2P. Yeah, let me throw an example right here just to show you from first-hand experience. I'm gonna get hit by the first hit. I'll show you that I can still even 2P. Yeah, I got hit by normal hit from the first Valkyrie low. But since the second hit does the combo, I can still 2P him as a punish for trying to Valkyrie sword when he wasn't able to. So it's not a true legit block string unless on counter hit. So, and another bad thing about this move, as you can see, there's a lot of like cons to this move, so you shouldn't be using it a whole lot. It goes into Flamingo, which is awesome, but at the same time, if they end up blocking it, it's -2. Whoops. Yeah, -2 on block. So if you're going into Flamingo stance and you start out negative, that's like one of the worst things you can do for yourself. So you don't want to have that move blocked. Basically, you don't ever want to use that move unless you confirm it off of a counter hit. If you know this is gonna counter hit somebody, that's when you want to go into this move. Because if you land the first hit on counter hit, the second hit automatically becomes a normal hit and you get +5 automatically, which is really good for a free mix-up, pretty much from Flamingo. +5 in Flamingo from +5 is pretty good. So, yeah, I recommend like if you're able to get yourself into this position and you're +5, you can run either 2K or 3K for crumple. And you know, if they want to try and get slick and try into sidestep, because they're both linear attacks, you can just do delay. You can just do delay 2K, delay 3K, and it'll still hit, you know? So just letting you know, that's how that works. It's the only time you'd want to use it. I mean, there's also this way to use it, as in counterattack bait or Bari bait. Let's see. If you know your opponent is going to try to attack you with like some kind of standing attack, some attack that's not crouching, you can like finish his string, and then if you do and it lands his counter hit, you get +9. So you can like really do whatever you want for free out of Flamingo, and it's awesome. But you'll rarely if ever get that. So, but just so you know, that option is there. You know, so just to recap, the only time you really want to use that move is when you counter hit. If you land this move on counter hit, that's the only time you want to finish that string. Or yeah, pretty much. Nah, before I go back on myself, yeah, that's pretty much the only time you want to use that move. So, alright, let me go ahead and go into the next move, and that's a leg slicer. This move right here, 2K + G. It's 20 frames. It's -6 on hit. It's -18 on block, I believe. No, -15. So it's elbowable. Not to mention it has a huge animation too. So, you know, if somebody tries to do this on you and they evade it, they can launch you for free. They can do, you know, I'm fighting against a Sarah and I know she's gonna do 2K + G, the leg slicer or whatever. I can do evade and they do 1K for free for like almost half life on them. So, long story short, you don't want to use that move often. Oh yeah, it's totally linear too. I need to mention that. It's totally linear. That being said, this move is specifically for counter hit. And I would say mainly a spacing counter hit tool. So I don't want to use this move. I really don't want to try and use this move up close. I mean, it's good if it hits, but it's really dangerous if it you're up close. If you're at like max length, it's a little bit safer because it'll be a little bit harder for you to punish. So, you know, that's the only time I'd really want to use it. Unless I'm just feeling like really gutsy and real disrespectful. But at the same time, you really want to land this. The only time you want to use this is if you know it's going to counter hit. So, if it counter hits, you see they get a side crumple and you get 1 KGK combo for free. For, you know, around a third of their life. So, you know, playing the spacing game or something like that, your opponent tries to dash up and do an attack on you, you can do 2 KGK or something like that. Or if you absolutely 100% know for a fact that they're going to do like some kind of high move on you and you want to try and crush it, you can use that, but it's really slow, so oftentimes you'll try to crush and land up with a normal hit. So, which does you no good pretty much. So in other words, it's not a great high crush tool. It's a high crush tool, but it's not a great one. So a spacing tool, spacing counter hit fishing tool, that's pretty much the main use for that move. So that pretty much covers leg slicer. Okay, on to the next move, which is low spin kick, 3 kg. 3 kg is ridiculously slow, 24 frames. It's sweep, it's full circular, so it's awesome. It leads to knockdown. And since it leads to knockdown, that leads to Okizeme for Sarah. So, you know, if they don't get up, you know, combo them for free. If they do get up, you know, do 4K. They have to deal with something. Or whatever kind of Okizeme game you want to put onto them. That's the best thing about this move. It's a full circular sweep. If they try to evade and they don't cancel, just like with height, you know, K plus G, you know, they can get swept. You know, they can get hit for a knockdown. And knockdown against there is pretty bad because you get caught in the Okizeme trap. So that's the main use for this move, to get that knockdown. But this move is terribly slow. It's reactable completely. So if somebody sees this, somebody sees you try to sweep, they can react and duck and block while they're ducking. If that happens, you know, you're pretty much screwed because -18 on block. It's worse than most launchers. So if your opponent's not terrible at punishing, they can hit you with a launcher for free, like the entire cast can. And that's pretty much half your life gone, especially for Sarah, who's a lightweight. So, in other words, you don't want to rely on this move too much. I know because I often do, and also often lose plenty matches because of it. So, but it's a low out of normal stance, so it's pretty valuable when you're able to use it. Anything else that needs to be said about the move? You know, -18 on block. Normal hits knockdown, counter hits knockdown, and free Okizeme. Yep. That pretty much covers everything about that move. Alright, on to the next move is 4 kg, 4K plus G, which is Crescent Heel. This move right here. This move is, I like it. I think this move is pretty awesome. It's one of Sarah's signature moves right here. It's 20 frames, so it's not extremely, okay, it's kind of slow, but at the same time, this doesn't come off to me or my opponents as a slow move, partially because it's one of Sarah's long range moves. She doesn't, strangely enough, considering she has like a lot of kick moves, she doesn't have a whole lot of long range moves, and because of that, this is especially valuable because it knocks down on hit, on counter hit, on either normal hit or counter hit, which is especially useful against Taka because a lot of moves against him doesn't knock down anymore, and it doesn't launch him. But this is one of the moves that does, and you know, on normal hit or counter hit, you know, that's pretty much third life gone for anybody in the cast. So, you know, one thing I'll often do is like, you know, I'll do my spacing game or something like that. If I want to back off, and I know my opponent wants to chase me, man, I'll just let this loose and let them know to respect me. So, but let me go into the more formal aspects of the move. On guard, it's what, +9, -9. So it's Nitaku, but at the same time, you're not going to be using this up close. You're going to want to use this at range. And if it's at range, they can't really grab you. If it's spaced properly, they can't grab you, as you can see. So it's not a real Nitaku anymore. So -8 from that position doesn't seem so bad. And rest assured, it's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as normally it would be. So it's pretty safe. It's pretty much, you can, even though it's a knockdown move, it's pretty much a launcher, because on knockdown you get 1 KGK combo for free. And anything else about this move? Yeah, 2 things about this move. The first thing is that, hands down, this is probably one of her best Okizeme tools. So if your opponent, you know, tries to get up and do wake up kick or something like that, actually pretty much for almost any situation, that's a really good wake up tool to use, because it's a mid attack. It does over 20 damage, I believe. So yeah, it does 22 damage, so it'll crush all wake up attacks. It's safe on blocks, so if they block, you're -8, so you might have to deal with a mix up, but you know, only if your opponent's astute enough to know that they're in that position. Let me get rising attack. Yeah, as you can see, it'll crush wake up. If I can time it right, that's the only other thing. Totally crushed their attack. So what you can do is, like, you can do sweep, and if they try to tech or not tech, you can run a type of dash setup to kill time, and when they wake up, just automatically launch that, and it'll knock them back down again, or it'll force them to block. They'll have to respect you in some way. So it's it's one of the easiest Okizeme tools in the game to use, and it's really powerful, because if it hits, yo, that's a 3rd life gone already. So you can win many matches just off of Okizeme alone with Sarah. So that's one of the other good things about this move. The last good thing I need to talk about is that it's cancelable. It's cancelable into Flamingo. So you get somebody to respect this move. Like, okay, whoops, I don't know where that came from. But they get hit by this so many times, and they'll try and come in and block. You can just cancel. And just, if you can cancel into a free Flamingo mix-up. If they're blocking, they're gonna respect you. If they respect you in Flamingo, free mix-up. So yeah, that's the good thing about that move. And I think that covers everything about Crescent Heel. Next move is Mellow Heel Kick, which is this move right here. 6K plus G. 19 frames. What can I say about this move? This move is pretty much a long range mid poke. That's what it is. The frames aren't all that great. They're not all that bad, but they're not all that great either. On normal hit, it's actually on block it's -2, which is awesome, because it's just regular fuzzyable. On normal hit it's +3, so you can run a mix up, a mid throw mix up. On counter it's +7, so it's true Nitaka right there. But unfortunately, because it's so slow, it's almost 20 frames. You're not gonna get it off. You're not gonna get very many counter hits with this move. So, in case you do, that's a very powerful option that you do have available if you're able to land that counter hit. But basically, what this is just a poke from like mid to long range. If you're riding on that edge of mid range to long range, you can use this as like a safe poke, pretty much, to see what they do. If they evade it, I don't think it's that punishable. I think they can elbow it, but they can't launch you, I don't believe. So it's another good thing about this move. This is just basically a move to test somebody. I don't throw it out a whole lot, but you know, I wouldn't say it's. I definitely can't say it's a bad idea to use. If you use it properly, you know, that's a pretty good poke. And that's pretty much all it is. You know, I guess the last thing to say about this move is, oh yeah, on hits and on block maybe. They're on force crouch position. Force crouch position, I should say. Blech. My English is going. Yeah. The animation is force crouch. When they actually get back up and back in the neutral position, they're actually standing neutral. So it's not it's technically not a real force crouch move, but unless it hits, of course. But the animation throws a lot of people off because, you know, when you're in crouch position, there's some moves that you can't use. For example, if I get put in a force crouch position and I try to use kick, instead of getting regular kick, I get this move instead, which is ridiculously punishable. So you have to be real careful about what move they use from crouch position, which makes this move like pretty valuable even on block, because it's not a real force crouch on block, but at the same time it gives that perception that it is. So it basically gives your opponent that mental note to like, hey, you know, I can't do exactly what I want when I want to. So, you know, just basically another small reason why this is a good poke. And, you know, it pretty much covers everything about that. Next up is 66K plus G, which is Queen Bee Needle, also known as Killer Bee Assault when done from this. Yo, okay. So covering the two different uses of the moves, which is, you know, I like how they named it two different names for the same move, you know, basically considering how it's used or whatever, depending on how it's used. So starting with the Queen Bee Needle, 66K plus G. Basically this is a distance covering move. This move looks like it's actually like punishable or something like that, but it's not. It's -4. So you can fuzzy any type of Nitaku mix-up that they throw. So you want to cover distance, and you know, you think they're not gonna like evade or anything like that, or even if they do evade it, I don't think it's that punishable. You know, so overall this move is pretty good for covering distances. On hit or on counter hit, it knocks down. You know, on block is -4, so it's crouch dash fuzzyable. On hit, it knocks down. On counter hit, it knocks down. And of course, whether they tech or not, you know, you can run your Okizeme on game on them and, you know, get extra damage somehow, or frame advantage depending on what they use and what you use. So basically, you know, distance covering into knockdown, which is pretty good. So definitely a good move to use to cover distance. Alright, the other use for this move is as combo parts. If your opponent is airborne or bounded, as like so, this basically becomes a combo finisher. That does a ton of damage. It does like 40 damage on its own, depending on how far in the combo it is. So it's a great combo ender, and it's a flashy one. So you know, that's when you want to use it. The only bad thing about this move as a combo ender is like you don't really get any Okizeme options, because by the time you recover, they recover. So that's the only bad thing about that move as far as like a combo ender. So that's it for 66K plus G. On to the next move, which is round kick, 8K plus G. This move is a low crush. That's your main use for this move. And it's kind of an option select low crush, but then again, pretty much every move in this game is an option select. So great thing about this move is that it's half circular, and it hops off the ground from the first frame. So even if you're like -7 or something like that, you do a crazy move, -5. This move is -8s. As you can see, they try to punish, or they try to take their frame advantage and do a 2P, and I read it. I hopped right over it and got a free ring out. So and I believe on normal hits you get a techable combo from 1kgk. So if they don't tech, you can do 1kgk for free. If they do tech and you read it, you can do Okizeme setups like dash forward into 4K or 4K plus G, depending on what they do. Just to reiterate. So once again, 1K plus G on normal hit, you get techable combo or Okizeme setup, whatever you choose. On counter hit, you get a free 1kgk combo. They float really high. You can do flip kick if you want. Well, flip kick's pretty fast. That won't work. So basically you get 1kgk for free. On counter hit, that's pretty much a third of their life gone. So if they do like a really big low move, like sweep or something like that, and you read it, because oftentimes you try to bait a 2P, but you won't get counter hit. You'll get like minor counter hit. Whoops. As you can see, you get the blue counter hit, the minor counter hit. That's basically like punishing. But if you bait like a sweep or some kind of big low move or something like that, and it hops over, you get like a regular counter hit where they flash yellow and they float high in the air, and you get 1K plus GK for free. So, and that leads to a third life combo. So that's when you want to get it. And also, it's half circular, so if you don't know whether your opponent wants to sidestep or if they want to like 2P, you can do either one. And if they evade in the direction that you know that they're going to evade, hit counter hit, which leads to free third life damage. So yep, the last thing to mention about this move is on block it's -6. Oops, I did backdash. So, you know, -6, that's Nitako against you. So that's reverse Nitako situation. So you have to deal with either a throw or a mid, and you have to choose. But only if your opponent knows and reacts fast enough. So if they're pretty good and they know that they're in +6, you have to watch out. So you can't just spam it out. You can't spam this move out all the time. But it's a pretty good. It's just a pretty good move in general. So, you know, use it somewhat liberally, and use it as long as you use it intelligently. You can't really go wrong with using it. All right. Yeah, that pretty much covers that. Round kick. It's probably her best low crush. Yeah, it might be her best low crush. I can't think of anything better. So use that. Next move up is Valkyrie Flight. This move right here, 9K plus G. This is the beginning of a long string that goes into 2 parts, and it's also somewhat of a low crush, but only from positive frames. Of course, as you can see, it works right here as a low crush, but only from positive frames. If I try to do it off an elbow or a 2P or something like that, or even from -2 with 6K plus G or 6P plus K, that punch right there, I can't jump in time using 9K plus G to avoid the 2P. So only from positive frames can use as a low crush. And then again, like, there's better low crushes. But if you want to go into the follow-up 9K plus G strings, you can use that as an option for a low crush. On block, let's talk about the move 9K plus G on its own. On block is what, -3? I mean, the problem with this move is that, you know, it's got kind of a long animation. Not extremely long, but you can get punished pretty bad on evade. So you want to throw this out all the time. Plus it's 24 frames, so it's slow. They can react to this and do something about it. But it's a mid. And it's a mid-knee attack. And it's a mid-knee attack that hops over lows from positive frames. So, you know, there's its use right there. It's -3 on block. So you can be regular fuzzy out of a Nitaku position. Or have a Nitaku mix-up. So it's pretty safe on block. On hit, you get +2. On counter hit, what you get? What do you get? Yeah, so either way you can get kind of a mix-up on its own. But normally the only reason you actually go into that move is to go into the follow-up strings. And you have 2 follow-up strings. You have this string right here and you have this string right here. And all the variations in between. So let's start with the first string from Valkyrie Flight. And the Valkyrie Strike string. And the second part of Valkyrie Strike string is the Valkyrie Jab, this right here. 9K plus GP. Okay, it combos, this move combos on normal hit. But the best use of this move is counter hit bait. If you're using that move alone. It's a high attack, so you gotta watch out. It can be 2P punished. But at the same time, you know, if you catch him on counter hit, it's +3 for you, which is not a whole lot. But at the same time, you know, you can use it for some kind of mix up. Or normal hit is 0, so that's, you know, nothing. And it just resets the situation. But you know, they got hit, so you can still run a mix up. It just won't be a legit mix up. On block, it's -3, so it's, you know, just regular duck fuzzy safe. Anything else about this move? It's linear, so it's evadable. It's also very delayable too. Well, not very delayable, it's somewhat delayable. So if you wanna, so basically you wanna delay a move to bait an Abari attack against a string, which, you know, of course doesn't work. You know, you try a Abari string attack, you get counter hit. So if they guard the first hit and they try to mash an attack afterward, they're gonna get counter hit. Because it's a string, and that's what strings do in pretty much any game. Yeah, so it's a string that does not jail on block. Anything else about this move? Yeah, I also mentioned the con about this move. It's a mid-high, the second hit being high, so, you know, and of course it doesn't jail on hit, I don't think. So yeah, let me test that out real quick. Actually, it does jail on hit. So the first move hits, yeah, like I said, it combos, so you don't have to worry about getting 2P'd if it on normal hit. But on if they block the first hit, they can 2P the second hit. So if you're worried about that, you can mix up with K plus GK. This move right here. And that's a free mix up right there, pretty much. Where you have to pick and choose between one or the other. But of course they're both linear too, so it can be evaded. Alright, that being said, yeah, it covers it. You're not going to be using this move that often by itself. Plain and simple, TLDR. Okay, next up, Valkyrie Straight. 9K plus G, PP. This is pretty much counter hit bait. On normal hit, it's -5. No, on block it's -5, so it's CD fuzzyable, cross dash fuzzyable. On normal hit is -3, so you get nothing. You're actually negative. On counter hit is +3, and because it's an EX high, there's two ways you can get counter hit from this move. One is just the regular way if they try to, you know, elbow you or, you know, just do like a regular attack in the middle of your string, as you can see right there. Also, but also since it's EX high, if they try to 2P you or do some kind of low, if I can actually do it. Stop dashing, Sarah. There we go. If they try to do 2P, they're gonna get counter hit because it's the EX high. And basically, it's a, you know, it's counter hit bait. That's the only reason you use this move. Okay, anything else about this move? Yeah, it's linear, fuzzyable on block. It's very delayable. As you can see, you can wait forever and it'll come out. It'll still come out. You can do it fast like this, or you can just do like a really long delay. Yeah, and then you still counter hit them if they try to attack. So basically, you can bait a counter hit or bait a barre attack into a counter hit. So that's pretty much the primary use of that move. Pretty much the only use of that move. Good thing about this move is that if the attack counter hits, the last part of the string is guaranteed, and that's the full Valkyrie strike combo. Of course, like the entire combo doesn't combo. It's impossible for the whole thing to combo unless they're like in the air or something, which I've never seen anybody do or waste their time doing. There's stronger combos to do. But basically, this is that last juicy hit at the end. On normal hit, it staggers. On counter hit, it staggers. You're guaranteed at only Mitaku. So you're not actually, if your opponent is really good at shaking out of the stagger, they can get out of like guaranteed hits. But if they're not, or they just don't expect it, you can just launch them for free. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work either. Whoa, what does work? I'll just do a simple combo. Yeah, as you can see, you can get big damage if they don't try and like shake out of it. So against good players, you know, that's a viable option to get like half life from mid-screen from somebody. So, but at the same time, it's a pretty big tell, so it's like you can't use it too often. People can blow you up because the whole string is linear. So, but that's the use of the move. And going to the last set of attacks, we're gonna backtrack into the second 9K push string, which is Sword Rush combo. So the second part of this string is Sword Slash 9K plus GK. It's a mid-mid. So if somebody tries to attack you, you're gonna get counter hit. And counter hit into a stagger. I don't think the stagger guarantees you anything. Unless your opponent just doesn't shake. But if they do shake, you don't get anything guaranteed but a Nitaku position. But let's see. The string completely combos. If I actually go to normal hit. It's +3 on normal hit. It's -5 on block, so it's crouch dash fuzzyable. On counter hit, it's +7. And it staggers versus crouchers too. So, you know, if your opponent tries to attack with like a high attack, a standing attack, it's +7. If they try to crouch or do a crouching attack, if I can actually, oh, duh. Yeah, stagger right there, automatic stagger. So that's mainly the use for that move. To catch crouchers and to catch people trying to bari. But of course, since it's linear, you know, it's available. So watch out for that. That's why you can't use the move all the time. So the move by itself is only okay. The last thing I should talk about with this move is that if the second hit counter hits, and only if it counter hits, the third hit of the string is guaranteed. So even if they're standing or crouching, I should say. There we go, this option should work better. That's the only time the full string can actually combo. And actually the full string didn't combo. Only last 2 hits combo. So that's the only time the last 2 hits can combo. And that segues into the last move of this video. Sword Rush combo. 9 capable GKK. Does a knockdown on hit. Yeah, on hit or on counter hit, it knocks down. It knocks down into attackable 1K plus GK combo. So you can do, you know, depending on what your opponent does, you can do 1K plus GK for a third life, or you can do Okizumi traps if you think they will tech. On block, it's -4. Unfortunately, it's a high, so it's also 2P'able too. Anything else? Oh yeah, this other good thing about this move is that it's cancelable. Honestly, there we go. It's cancelable into Flamingo. Honestly, it's a shenanigan. Yeah, you can get blown up pretty free for against aggressive opponents, but if they're just blocking, they're just turtling, or you're just scared to death, you get a free Flamingo mix-up. You know, regardless. So, also it's somewhat delayable. I mean, it won't make a huge difference though. So, but it's good to know. And that pretty much covers it for K plus G attacks. Hopes that answers any and all of your questions on this series of attacks. The next video should be up soon. It's gonna be coming. Yeah, it's coming pretty soon. It's gonna be covering stances and it's gonna be pretty much the Flamingo video. It's also gonna cover P plus K plus G. But I don't think there's no attacks from there. There's only like stance changes and stuff like that. So that's gonna be the next video. Look for that soon. And thank you for tuning in. And catch me later. Also check my YouTube. This is gonna be on YouTube soon. So my YouTube is youtube.com/theblackstarmovement. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you later.